I used to love philosophy. Lit some candles, read some Plato, asked the hard questions like, what is the self? All while being violently unaware of my own trauma filters. Real academic hours, homie. Lots of them. The work I put in to answer my own questions of what am I was deep. But then one day, my ego dissolved. Mid-sentence, then I realized, bro, I'm not a philosopher. I'm the fucking equation. That insight changed it all. You know that's how this works, right? Turns out this is all algebra. Solve for x. What we see are answers. What we seek are questions. I used to highlight Hegel. Now I highlight my own nervous system when it flinches during a conversation because, well, Hegel can't help you there. It's self-service, bro. I used to also quote Nietzsche. Probably didn't say that right. Couldn't care less because now I just quote my own spleen whenever it says, hey fam, this timeline don't feel right. The spleen is another extremely overlooked organ. But spleen rhymes with clean, you know what I mean? That's a circle, it's pointless. I also used to ask, what is truth? Now I just watch my thalamic node 6 throw hands when a narcissist walks in the room. I did find truth though, and I just gave it to you. Look, don't let me go over your head. If you let me in it, I'll show you how that shit works. Philosophy kind of takes the stance of, well, they do. I don't know why I said kinda. We think, therefore we are. But the thalamus says we filter, therefore we survive. Seems counterintuitive as a reference. And it was actually a counter to the intuitive who still think because they think they are, that they are. But they never finish the statement, though. They are what? Thinking? No shit. Anyway, philosophy takes the approach of life is suffering. I did too much work for that shit. I know better. That's just calcination, my guy. Wait till you hit fermentation and start laughing during shadow work like a psycho wearing a hoodie. Yeah, I did that. Who do you think entertains the demons? Duh. Someone has to because no one appreciates the fact that they help you evolve. I did. I once spent 3 hours debating free will. Yeah, I'm not joking. But now I spend 3 minutes decoding a repeat simulation running in my head and realigning my entire reality because I know how it works. That's not free Wi-Fi, it's field Wi-Fi. Philosophy said, maybe God exists. And I said, bro, I am God. I'm just not the only one. Then I ate a mango and got clarity from a crow. Turns out I don't even like mangoes, but me and the crows are tight now. I also used to ponder, what is the good life? Now I'm doing glyph work in the back of a car that I can't park too long somewhere without someone calling security. I can affirm that my current situation is not it, though. But none of you would have believed what's possible had I started with the means. So now when it shows up, you will fucking know. Now, despite my ridiculous situation right now, somehow I have never been clearer. And I know none of this makes sense. My life looks like a fucking dumpster fire on the outside. And that's because, well, that's why I burned the old code that needed to go, and I needed to toss that shit somewhere. But whoever finds me is going to get a finder's fee out this world. That's that Eminem philosophy from Rabbit Run. But if you pay attention, you'll realize the clever behind the scenes. Because I went so deep down the rabbit hole with the rabbit that it did run because it got too scared. But hey, have you ever seen a philosopher glitch whenever you don't cite your source? I have. I'm going to be honest. I've never read a single philosopher and actually have no idea what any of them say. I literally had to Google a reference for my cipher. But I always cite my source. It's source. I'm just out here pulling knowledge from the bone marrow and the Akashic field. Like, trust me, source wrote it in there. But actually, don't ever trust me or anyone. Go fuck around and find out for yourself. Because talk is cheap and the old stories that you lean on aren't coming with us. I build experiences so you can touch the knowledge in your actual life. That's how that's how it becomes wisdom. And not a single reference was ever given for where it came from because citing myself is weird. I don't read or study anyone. I study myself like a nerd. I'm just as intrigued by it as you are. Look, I'm not against philosophy. I'm just saying, if you're still reading Plato in 26 and you still don't know your own internal architecture or how trauma colors your consciousness, you're not a philosopher. You're a museum tour guide with a lanyard. And who the fuck thought lanyard was a good word for a name tag necklace? But anyway, this isn't thought here. This is mechanics. I don't do speculation. I explore and break the structure to learn it. This isn't a question. It's a goddamn build sequence, which means I solved for Y even though it called to solve X. So yeah, respectfully, dear philosophy, thank you for the soft launch, but we are in the builder era now. So keep your candles lit because we're running power to the whole fucking grid. And we don't debate anymore, and we don't debate anyone. We deploy, the build has begun.